So, another week, another late-ish video. Let's see if we can get this done in the next hour because I've got work to do and pizza to eat and Game of Thrones to watch. Today I'm going to be talking very briefly about the impact of social media on Quidditch. I'll be using some stories from my role as publicity manager for Oxford Quidditch, and I'll be talking about how I see it kind of playing a role in the advancement of Quidditch generally in the future. I think social media, Facebook pages, Twitter feeds, YouTube channels, I think that's all pretty much the most important off-pitch, by which I mean not tactics, not gameplay developments, and that's possibly one of the most important sectors that can be focused on by any one team. I think it can really help the team to and the club and the advancement of the sport to have a good public facade, a good public face, and an involving and interactive public face that people enjoy being a part of. So it's much more immersive than just going on and watching a game every now and then, or even just playing. It feels like a community. I think everyone gets that vibe if you play Quidditch, if you're in the QUK group or the whatever group your team has. But I think it can be quite difficult if you're a member of the public or a close friend to really feel just how strong the community in Quidditch is. So I like to think that building that public Facebook page, that Twitter page, it's much more involving, it's much more interactive than simply saying, oh, we won this match, oh, we won that match. Things like photo competitions, score prediction challenges, those kind of things all make people feel much more invested in the matches. And that's to a level that I just don't think can be done without that extra dimension of support. When I first suggested the Oxford University Quidditch Club Facebook page, it was met with some scepticism because we already had a group for the Chimeras, a group for the Quidlings, and a group for generally Oxford Quidditch that a lot of people who weren't directly involved with the club were members of. So the question was, what role is this going to play that those groups don't already take part in? Well, I said it's going to be different to the groups. We're not just going to be announcing practices, we're going to be posting pictures, we're going to be posting campaigns, we're going to be posting various odds and ends that make people laugh and feel endeared to the club. And I like to think that kind of worked in the last few months. In fact, we've got about 634 likes now. I said about, not like I'm counting. And that kind of shows just the extent to which you can reach out outside your natural sphere of the club or even the university or even Quidditch in the UK. You can reach a much larger international audience. And I think that is helpful for many reasons. Firstly, it can really help when you end up fundraising or when you end up wanting to promote something. Secondly, I think it can really help other people get involved in Quidditch that otherwise wouldn't have much exposure. We get emails, quite a lot of messages directly to the Facebook page saying, hi, I'm joining the university next year. Hi, I'm really keen on wanting to join the university. Hi, I'm really keen on the idea of Quidditch. How does it work? How can I get involved? And they wouldn't really have had that exposure to Quidditch or to the club specifically had they not then stumbled across us at the Freshers' Fair or seen us in one of the many media outlets. And that brings me to my third point, which is it's a wonderful face and a wonderful presence that attracts a lot of media attention. We get messages quite often from people wanting to film our matches, wanting to photograph our matches, wanting to do interviews. One excellent case study is the London Unspeakables Quidditch team, who, having set up their Facebook and properly invested in it a few months ago, have been inundated with requests for TV appearances, newspaper, magazine interviews. There was the fantastic Time Out article. They were on ITV just the other day. We got approached by BBC Breakfast because one of the presenters, who had an interest in weird sports, saw our Twitter page, saw our Twitter feed, and contacted us over Twitter. I've just been contacted by the Oxford University student paper to do a 800-word piece on Quidditch. So the reach can't be overestimated. But yeah, I think it's an area that can still be invested in massively. I think groups like QUK, Team UK, if they put more time and more organised effort into those areas, then they can really stretch their influence a lot further. Because at the moment it's the individual clubs that are being contacted a lot. I think if there's a more unified branding, that then QUK can definitely put their message across a lot more effectively. And that's not to criticise what QUK are doing at the moment. It's a very new field of advancement. It's a very new area to expand into, and it's just saying that in the future that's where it's going to be advanced into, and that's where attracting new people into the sport is going to come from, rather than from the individual universities. But yeah, I'm interested to your thoughts. Let me know in the thingy down near my penis. And I will see you next week when I will be dancing to the Hoedown Throwdown thing by Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, one of them, both. Did they duet it? I think. Anyway, I'll be dancing to that, so stay tuned.